Chris, thank you. It is 7:17 right now, and in your mind, it's a new year. But for divorce lawyers, January feels like Christmas. It's the time of year when parents who hung in there through the holidays for the kids have had enough, and other marriages end because of resolutions to start being happy and living for yourself. But is divorce really the best answer? Janie Lacy with the Total Life Counseling Center is here with a few tips to save your marriage. Good morning.
Good morning, Heidi.
In your opinion, are most marriages savable?
In my opinion, after a couple first decides that they want to keep the marriage and they decide that they're going to work hard for it and they're proactive, I do believe that marriages can be saved.
You have 5 simple tips that any couple can use, whether you're heading down the divorce road or you want to make sure that you don't head that way. You say date night is important.
Yes. Oftentimes, Heidi, when I first meet with a couple, one of the first questions I ask them is, what did you do for fun during your dating relationship? And after a brief pause, usually one or both of them crack a smile or laugh a little bit before they even answer. So what happens in that moment is they get a glimpse of a happier time of their relationship. And when kids set in and bills pile up, often one of the things off of the priority list is date night, when it really should be one of the top 5. And what I often recommend to the couples that I work with is, if you have kids, at least once a month, because this way you can plan for a babysitter, you can plan ahead. And if you don't have kids yet, great, you can plan for once a week or even twice a week.
Something to look forward to. You also say you have to set boundaries in your relationship, whether it be with work or children. What do you mean by that?
Absolutely. One of the biggest complaints I get from one of the partners in the marriage is that the other one spends so much time focusing on their career, even when they're at home. It's okay to shut off your BlackBerry or your iPhone for a specific amount of time so that you can dedicate to your family, and in particular to your spouse. Your kids and their activities are important, but what's even more important is that they see mom and dad loving each other. After all, you are role modeling for them what a relationship looks like.
And you don't want them heading down a rough road themselves later in life. You also say that it's good for your spouse to have alone time, whether it's by themselves or with friends.
Absolutely. What tends to happen is a lot of people think having individual interests is a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. It creates a great opportunity to reconnect with same-sex friends. And after all, the old cliche that absence makes the heart grows fonder is very true.
But husbands shouldn't be hanging out with just girl friends.
Absolutely. You need to have appropriate boundaries. Same-sex friends is what we highly recommend.
All right, you have 2 other tips. We're going to get to them in our 8 o'clock hour. We're going to spice up your love life and also help you fight in a good way. All right, these sound good. They're coming up. Janie Lacy, thank you. Again, she's sticking around all morning long to blog and answer your questions about how to make your marriage work. All you have to do, if you have a question, is go to myfoxorlando.com, click mornings at 8 o'clock again. We're going to be back here with some of your questions. Janie, thank you. New year, new you. New attitude about your marriage. Divorce doesn't have to be the answer to making your life better. In fact, saving your marriage may be easier than you thought. Janie Lacy with Total Life Counseling has been with us all morning answering your questions about saving your marriage online. She's here now to talk to us about issues that you've been talking about online, and also 5 tips to making your marriage better, whether you feel like you're heading down the wrong road or you just want to make sure that you keep your marriage strong. Good morning again.
Good morning.
We went over some tips earlier about how you have to keep date night around. You have to create boundaries with work. But you also say, I love this one, you got to spice up your love life.
Yes, Heidi. It is so important that couples are intentional when it comes to their physical life. And I'm just not talking about sex. I'm talking about kisses and hugs. It's okay for couples to try new things. And one of the most valuable pieces of information I give husbands is if you make the investment to fulfill your wife's emotional needs, the return on that investment can be great.
So you're saying they should vacuum and make you feel loved during the day? I like that. What are the things that you tell people specifically that they have to do to make this work? Because it's easy just to say spice it up, but What do you say?
Well, first you have to know what is important to the other person, because a lot of times we tend to do what we think the other person wants, but it's really what the other person needs. So get to know your partner, get to know what they need, and then aim for that.
All right, so you have to talk about it even if it's maybe not the most comfortable discussion.
That is very important. You have to talk about it, and a lot of couples don't talk about it, and that's part of the problem.
Inevitably, you say that couples are going to fight no matter how long you've been married for, but you have to do it in the right way. Is there a good way to fight?
Fighting fair is not as easy as it sounds. Couples are going to have disagreements. They're going to have arguments. There's going to be conflict in the marriage. But what's more important is how a couple fights. Actually, how a couple fights determines the indicator of divorce down the road. And what you tend to think about is you have to pick your battles very carefully. Is it really important, Heidi, that who left the porch light on? I mean, do you really want to be right, or do you want to be happy in your relationship? And it's important to think about each battle in terms of that.
So you're saying that there's some things you just got to let go.
Absolutely.
Is there ever a situation where people come in and you just say, okay, this is it, you shouldn't save this marriage, where it's better for the children, better for you to move on?
Well, it takes a long process to even get to that level. There's often times where we'll separate the couple. We'll have the wife for a couple of sessions to work on some individual things, or the husband in some individual sessions. So that would be a long process down the road.
So you would say your New Year's resolution should be on saving the marriage?
Absolutely.
All right, always possible. If you have questions, she's going to be around here till the end of the show, 20 minutes left. You can log on.